What's up YouTube, this your man, Big B Production 100. I have a great video for you guys. In this short video, I'll be showing you guys some of the cool designs and tweaks that Apple has made with iOS 7.1. Let's begin. The first change you'll notice inside 7.1 is the new power off UI. Let's check it out. In order to see that, just hold down your power button on the top of your iPhone like so. And you'll notice now it has changed that to like a cool slide effect with the circle, the power button. So that's pretty sweet. Next, you'll also notice that Apple has changed the button shapes as far as with the UI inside iOS 7.1. The next thing you'll notice inside 7.1 is the new button shapes. In order to check that out, you just want to go to settings. Now go into general accessibility. Now just scroll down to where you'll see the option to choose button shapes. Just turn that on. So you can now tweak the shapes and everything as far as with the sizes of your buttons on your iOS device. So that's pretty sweet as well. Now moving on to the next new feature. The next new feature inside iOS 7.1 is you'll notice that inside your control center, when you pull it up now, it's got like a cool bouncing effect to it. Let me show you what I mean. That's pretty sweet. So now when you pull it up, it's got like a cool bounce effect and everything. It bounces a little bit when you swipe it up. Another tweak you'll notice inside iOS 7.1 is with the volume and the brightness sliders. You'll notice that inside your control center, when you swipe them from the left to right, it's got more of a flick to them now, like inside pages. So let's check it out. When you go to your control center, you'll notice that when you flick your sliders for volume and brightness, you don't really have to drag it anymore. You can just touch it and just flick it like really fast. It's like really fast. I'm barely even touching it. I'm just like flicking it with my index finger here. And you'll notice that it's got a cool bounce along with it when you flick it to the right and when you flick it to the left. So they have tweaked that a little bit with the volume and the brightness. Let's move on to the next tweak that they have changed inside iOS. And that would have to be, I've noticed I was playing around with the speed and everything, and as far as like with the animation. So like when you go inside of a folder, it's like really fast when you open up an app, like so. When you touch, everything is much faster now with the animation. They tweaked that just a little bit. And I've noticed this because I was playing around with my wife's iPhone and along with my iPhone 5 here. And I was just testing out some of the, the cool tweaks before I updated her phone to the new OS. And I basically updated mine first and I updated hers last. But before I updated hers, I was testing everything out. So that's how I noticed some of these new cool tweaks that you can notice in here. Let's move on to the next tweak. Another tweak you'll notice, well, should I say change inside iOS 7.1 is dealing with the clock. You'll notice that when you go to your clock now, and when you go into world clock, if you just tap on one of your locations such as Cupertino or New York, if that's where you're at, if you just tap, you can change it from a digital to an analog clock. So that's pretty sweet. You can just tap on either one, it doesn't matter, depending on where you're at. So since I'm in Chicago here, I'll just add Chicago to mine. That would be USA, like so. And you'll notice it's the same thing. Now, one of my favorite tweaks that they have added as far as with iOS 7.1 would have to be as far as with accessibility. Let me show you what I mean. Inside 7.1, you now have the options to choose to go from like a dark gray or to like a lighter gray as far as with the contrast of the whole UI. So let me show you what I mean. We're going to start by going into my settings here. Now we're going to go to general, now accessibility. Now from there, we're just going to scroll down to where you see increase contrast. You'll notice that when I tap on increase contrast, I now have the options to reduce the transparency like so, or I can either darken the colors, or I can either reduce my white point. So you can probably see it on my screen on my Mac here, but on my iPhone, I can really tell the difference. So I'm going to reduce my white point a little bit. And I guess I'll just darken up my colors. Now let's just go back and check that out. And you'll notice it's a little darker now. So now if I wanted to go back to the dark gray I was telling you about, I can just reduce the transparency like so and go back, and there you go. You have that gray effect back. So I'm just going to change it for now. Let's turn off the dark color, see how it looks. Okay, I guess I'll switch it. I like it a lot better like that. I know my wife's iPhone, for some reason, she liked the dark gray at the bottom. I don't know why, but I guess to each his own right. Moving on. Another cool tweak that you'll notice inside 7.1 is some of the new phone buttons that they have changed inside iOS, like so. Switching over to the next tweak that you'll notice inside your iOS 7.1 would have to be with the keyboard feature. I noticed that they tweaked the keyboard design a little bit, so we're just going to turn this so that you can see what I mean here, and you'll notice that they changed the keyboard. So that's a little different now. It's like dark gray and light gray when you look at the buttons and everything, and in the background of the keyboard. So that's one of the new changes as well. One more cool thing, you probably noticed this on your own if you did your update by now, or you probably didn't, but you'll notice that the icons now is a lot darker as far as with FaceTime, phone, and messages. You'll notice that the icons are a lot darker inside iOS 7.1. Coming over to your music, you'll see inside music now, you also have new buttons as well. Alright, you guys, those are some of the new features that I've noticed inside iOS 7.1. If you guys feel that I didn't jot down enough, or if I missed some that you may have noticed yourself, please feel free to just jot them down below in the comment section. This is your man, Big B Production 100. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll let you.